Okay, a little bit better video this time, YouTube. I'm sure you remember this, the Micronox torch that used these butane cylinders. Let me just take one out of the package. This is an unused cylinder. As you can see, it's not poked. This is what they look like. Now, at some point in time, RadioShack decided, well, not RadioShack, but I don't know if it was the government decided or somebody decided that you cannot get these butane cylinders anymore, making your torch worthless. Also, the Micronox cylinders were no longer available either. So I have a solution for you here. You will need one butane cylinder. It doesn't matter if it's full or empty. Micronox, let me show you. A little trick here. There's nothing more than whippets. That's all Micronox is. There's one of those right in there. Right. That's a Micronox cylinder. Just a different color. Micronox used to be silver or gray. Now they're green. Who cares? It is what it is. Now, my modification is very, very simple. You drill in this a 5/16 hole, and you need a Ronson 5 type. This is a type 5 inlet valve. Okay, and you get this nifty tool that you got to buy for it. But without taking this apart, the valve inside here unscrews. And I'll just do it for you. We'll just do it off camera. If I could do it off camera. There we go. There we go. Okay, I almost got the valve out here for you to show you. Okay. Now, this is what you got. You got the valve here, which looks like a cigarette lighter valve, but notice the O-rings on top on this. And you got a sleeve, okay? And just straight through. You can see right through it. You see my car hood underneath it. So that's basically what you got here. Now, very easy. What you do is you drill a 5/16 hole in the cylinder, and you press fit this in. I used a a 20-ton press. But you lightly press it in until it bottoms out. Then what I did was you flux around the brass, and then you solder in the fitting. Now, as you can see, this fitting, the solder joint is perfect on it. I kept fluxing it. I don't use and you can't use a soldering iron, you can't use a torch. You have to use a air gun, heat gun. And I had it on 700 degrees, but I kept dropping it back when I went to solder because 700 is a little too hot. And this is what you get. Now, I don't know if you could see that, but that's a pretty decent solder. It's not going anywhere. This thing is not coming out of here. One of the little tricks is to solder this, you got to take a little piece of silicone, and as you're soldering it, you plant it into this, and you have it clamped with a screwdriver on both sides, so it presses this down flat, so it stays flat. So when you're soldering it, the solder, it's not jumping a gap. You can't jump a gap, and you have to remember you must use flux. If you don't use flux, this will not work. I scratched mine up with a little bit of, I think it was 800 grit, just to get some bite for the solder. It's very shiny. It was a pain in the neck to get the solder drips off of the steel once it was fluxed, but I was able to do that, and I'm really trying to get you a good shot of that solder, but my camera just doesn't want to focus on this metal. And there you have it. So once you have that done, you got your trusty torch back. Now, in order to light this, we're just going to put this here, and you take your standard butane cylinder, just the regular style, the big cans, and you just stick it in the hole. I already filled this, so I'm not going to fill it again. You just hit it, you fill it. Why is this going so friggin' shitty? You hit it, you fill it, and that's it. So now, don't worry about it. It's very safe. It's not going to blow up on you. We're just going to turn this up a little. Right, there we go. There's the butane. We're going to add a little nitrous oxide. Too much. I'm trying to do this one-handed. And then we're going to slowly add nitrous. And a little more butane, a little more nitrous, and hey, oops, a little too much. There we go. And there you have it. Your trusty Archer torch is back to its 15-minute timing. Ooh, that gets hot quick. That's 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But now you don't have to care. Ooh, that is hot. You don't have to care about running out of butane. And, well, micronox. It's pretty cheap for nitrous oxide whippets. I think I paid $30 for 40 of them. And there you have it. Fixed C3PO. Trusty torch is back in operation. I can't tell you enough how many times I see these torches on eBay and I just snag them. In fact, I just snagged a brand new one for 30 bucks. And I found another one used. Now, when you shut this down, the trick is oxygen first, fuel second, so you don't get a flashback in there. And that's it. You're done. I haven't checked to see how long it would run. This cylinder's a little bit cool, but not ice cold. But you can see now I tested this. I hydro tested this with some. Well, I didn't hydro test it, but what I did was I put it under water, charged up, and looked for leaks. There were no leaks. Now, one thing I could tell you that I was a little bit ran into a little difficulty is these cylinders. When you look at this plug, it's just at the limit. So what I did was I put it in my press down a little bit to oblong the cylinder just a bit. You can't see the oblong here, but it just gave enough right here in the back side so the valve won't hit. My valve was just about touching. You might be able to see a little bit oblong there. You can see where I pressed it just a little tiny bit. That's it. There you go. It works great. I'll modify them if you can't. Send me a message.